Guys, I've got so much to talk about in this video. This is my, my review of the weigh-in, the weights of Usyk and Joshua. My final thoughts and keys to victory / tactics for the guys that I think will work. Before we get into that, because I've been watching so much stuff here, there, and everywhere, I've probably forgotten a few things, so I've not written this down, and I'm just going to get my thoughts out there. But remember, comment, like, and most importantly, subscribe. We need to get this viral, so I can spend more time doing it, if that makes sense. Do more research. That's what it's all about, baby. Right. So let's start with Alexander Usyk. He weighed 221 and a quarter pounds in the first fight. This one he weighed 221 and a half, so he put on a quarter pound. For me, a little bit surprised. I think maybe I got into a little bit of the hype of him putting on weight, but I said, he definitely won't be more than like 7 pounds that he'd be putting on. Look, people were coming out with like 15 kilos, utter rubbish. It was clear as day to end with 15 kilos on. That would have been 33 pounds. And that would have been alarming, to say the least, if he'd put on 33 pounds. What's he going to do with that? That's like muscle he can't use, and he's just going to fatigue and be slower and weaken very quick, because his frame ain't meant for 250 or whatever it is, 254. No way. Joshua, a little bit surprised that he came in heavier actually, but we'll get onto that in a minute. Pardon me. So for my thoughts on Usyk, he's a very focused guy. He's one of these kind of like modern day warriors, the mindset where he could, I don't want to say it in case the YouTube algorithm goes off, but KILLA man in the morning, and then go to a Kristen in the evening, for lunchtime, and hold a baby, get a few photographs, and go to see a comedy sketch in the evening. That's the kind of guy he is. Very focused. Sees himself as a fighter, in Ukraine, and a traditional Cossack. That's his mindset, whether people believe it or not. That's his mindset, and it's clear as day. He's focused. He can be laughing 1 minute, saying, "Yeah, I very feel," taking the mick about how many sugars Cougs wants and all that sort of stuff. Anything, having a wee joke, man. But when it comes down to it, when he's looking at Joshua in the eye in that ring, he knows exactly what his game plan is. He knows exactly what he's going to be doing, and he can back up. He can execute it to a T. And if you can't do anything to stop him, then it's going to be a long night. For me, Usyk needs to do similar to what he did the first time, just more of it, more feinting, pulling the trigger a little bit more, and keeping off the ropes. Whatever position before shots, keep off the ropes. Don't let Joshua tie you up. Duck down low, keep that body and head protected, and counter him to death. If he's throwing any lazy jabs, he needs to capitalise that on with a slip and a straight left every time, and he'll get Usyk going again. And someone's about to reverse into me. That's how I see him winning. Not the opposite for Joshua, but very similar to the opposite. Oh, this guy's a joker, man. Where's he going? Sitting in my car in a car park at the minute. I've been out. This guy, man, crikey. Anyway, with Joshua, man, I've been listening to some of them. Okay, let's start with his weight first. Actually, 244. I was a little surprised because he looks very trim to me. But at the end of the day, I don't think 244. Hey, I think that's a fine weight for Joshua, considering the way he looks, man. He's just a massive guy. I just hope he hasn't been pumping too many bloody bicep curls and all that sort of stuff that just doesn't help him. But you know, in terms of weight, looks fine. Doesn't have an elite level gas tank for me. Watching stuff that Robert Garcia has been saying. Robert Garcia said, train for a 6-round fight. He was also saying about Joshua and Angel Fernandez. He was like, me and Angel Fernandez have told AJ, you ain't gonna like his days. You know, you're gonna hate his days, and we're gonna upset you. And you know, and Robert Garcia said, yeah, that's exactly what happened, because you know, he kept saying, oh, you don't praise me for what I do right and what I do well, this, that, and the next thing. And you know, Joshua's throwing hissy fits. And Robert Garcia said, you know, plain as day, good, because we want you doing more of that, because what you're doing at the minute ain't good enough. Yeah. And if you're complimenting somebody, attending to someone's ego, they're going to be placid and complacent. What Robert Garcia is saying, he's trying to instill a mean streak back into Joshua, something that he seems to have lost. I find it very bizarre. You know, it's like he can't even remember 5-6 years ago. Like, he's like going through watching what made him great, all these fights, and he's looking at them as if it's like it happened 100 years before he was born. Like, he doesn't know what. Very bizarre to me. Very bizarre. Sometimes I wonder about that guy. What's happened to him mentally? But maybe, you know, fatherhood and other stuff has just made him a nice guy. To me, he just doesn't seem that, you know, he's on the stare downs and he looks mean, but it looks a bit forced. And then a minute later, he's having a giggle. It just doesn't seem quite right, you know, the way he is. Another thing, you know, Robert Garcia was saying is, well, Joshua said at the weigh-in that he's prepared for a 12-round fight, and you know, Robert Garcia was implying, you know, reading between the lines, there's been conflict in camp between him and AJ, because he was saying, look, he's not my friend, I want him to win. But AJ said, talking about a 12-round fight, he's going 12 rounds, he's prepared for that, and if he stops him, it's luck. But the intention isn't there. To me, AJ wants to box another mid-range fight because he thinks he can outbox Usyk, coming out with statements like, I thought he thought he was winning and all this stuff. Crazy stuff, man. Like, I think, you know, anybody but him could see that. And I don't know, it's not like he's trolling. He doesn't strike me as the type that even knows what trolling is. So very bizarre, and I think he just doesn't believe in what Robert Garcia has been saying to him. Robert Garcia clearly wants him to be a lot more aggressive, a lot more mean, a bit like the Dillian White fight. We've had the discussion before. So, and another thing is, like, it's very bizarre to me, is watching talk radio with Oliver Spencer and Gareth A. Davis, where Gareth A. Davis was having a go at Spencer Oliver for taking too long to get to the point, getting to the mustard. That's rich coming from Gareth A. Davis, even though it was funny. He's like, I'm getting fed up here. Crazy stuff, man. But yeah, what Spencer Oliver was saying, Spencer Oliver is about 5'0". He's like, I'm giving him tactics in the WhatsApp group. We're all giving him tactics and having banter and saying what he should do in the fight. Bruv, if you don't know what your tactics are, your main tactics, to a fine detail, and I have a plan B behind it, and or even just a solid A plan in fight week, you're done for. You're gonna get smoked. You're gonna get absolutely. Usyk's gonna run through him if he hasn't got his game plan down to a T. He's gonna get run through, you know. Like Derek Chisora says, yeah, see that man there? He's like, you know, laxatives, and they go and they run through you. It's like, I'm gonna run through that man, yeah, and that's what's gonna happen. You know, for me, Spencer Oliver saying he's giving AJ tactics when you should be listening to Robert Garcia. You don't want all these fools, all these jokers, man, whispering in your ear. It's like, it's like Chinese whispers or something. He should be listening to Robert Garcia, who's bought, world champions, and he's been a world champion himself. He knows what it is. He knows how to deal with the guys, and he knows how to have that proper relationship, even though people don't like him at times in training camps. That's cool. We're doing a job. We ain't pals, I ain't going for a pint with you. It's not about that. It's about getting the job done. Yeah, we'll go for a pint after we smoke this guy. And that's it. But AJ doesn't seem to be, all on board with Robert Garcia's tactics. For me, what AJ needs to do, he needs to be less upright. He needs to effectively cut off the ring. Keep it simple. He needs to effectively cut off the ring, get Usyk in the corner, and unload those straight shots, body shots, head shots, whatever he's been working on. Unload them fast and heavy. Aim for the body, because he's going to keep missing the head. Aim for the body. Yeah, you can't move the body if you're tied up against the ropes. And Usyk's quite slippery, so if he manages to duck out and slip along the ropes, that's when, if someone's ducking down or sliding along the ropes, and you're trying to pivot around to follow him, you need to be throwing that, the left. I was just thinking about my left and rights then. You need to be throwing the right hook if he's going to the left, and and vice versa if he's going to his right. Aim for the body. Don't aim for the head. He's going to duck down. Aim. Hit the body. You can't move the body the same when he's coming off. Land that solid hook fast and hard. Yeah, and then get on him again. Yeah, don't give him time to think. Cut him off. Have a reasonably tight guard. Just and he needs to get in there. Yeah, he needs to keep Usyk on the ropes. Yeah, and just unload. This is going to be a 6-round fight for Joshua. He ain't got an elite level gas tank. He needs to put it on him in an not an articulate, an intelligent way. Feint him, bait him, in and out. Put the pressure on, not this like upright, stiff guy who makes these like ridiculous rocking motions like like Mike Tyson. He ain't Mike Tyson. He just needs to use the tools he's got, sharpen them. Listen to Robert Garcia. Good God, what have you been doing for 4 months? It frustrates the hell out of me. It gets to me, man, because I feel like I'm on AJ's back a lot of the time, and it's not anything about being on AJ's back. It's just stating the obvious, being objective. And hey, I think this is going to go down as a classic if AJ can put his tactics. AJ can definitely win this fight, but everything I've seen and what I think is going to happen, I think AJ is going to get taken out. I think he's going to get taken out, and AJ's not going to know what's hit him after. Hopefully he's not leaning over the ropes at the beginning of the fight again. I think, round 7 to 9, it's going to get stopped. That's my prediction. Anyway, you guys let me know if I've missed anything out on my analysis. Anything else you would like to add? Let's have a discussion before the fight tomorrow. What do you think of their weights? Remember to subscribe, like, comment, hit that notification bell for more great content. I'm up in my work rate. Up in everything. I'm up in the game. I'm taking it to a new level. So hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys, and catch you soon.